Hello, in this video we are going to understand about different quantities. We'll compare them and understand them. So, comparing quantities. Now, this is of class 8. So, we can start comparing two quantities by means of ratio. So, let's say we have 10 apples and 15 oranges. Okay, so we have to find the ratio of the number of apples to the number of oranges. So the ratio is like this. 10 is to 15, which when broken down can be written as 2 is to 3. Okay, so we can understand it in terms of fractions as well. So let's say the total number of fruits is equal to 25, which is 10 plus 15, 10 apples and 15 oranges. So the fraction of number of apples to the number of fruits is equal to 10 is to 25, which is 2 by 5. Similarly, we can find the fraction for number of oranges to the number of fruits. So number of oranges to number of fruits. So this is 15 by 25, which is 3 by 5. All right. So there is another method of understanding these quantities. Percentage is another method. So let's say we have 15 oranges out of 25 fruits. So in terms of percentage, it is 15 by 25 into 100. So it is 3 by 5. So it is around 60%. So we have 60% oranges. So we know that the total sum is going to be 100% for the fruits. So the percentage of apples is equal to 100 minus 60 is equal to 40%. This is fairly simple. So let us discuss a question with this. So let's say there are 60% girls in a class. Their number is 18. Okay, now they are going on a school trip. The cost of traveling is rupees 12 per kilometer. The cost of snacks is rupees 40 to 80. They will travel 55 kilometers. Okay, so this is the question. So now the question will be, one, find the ratio of girls to number of boys in the class. Okay, this will be question number 1. The second question will be, so the second question is, what will each person have to pay if two teachers are also going with them? And the third question is going to be, they stop after 33 kilometers. What percent of distance is still left for them to cover? Okay, so this is how we are going to solve it. Now we know that 60% girls is equal to 18 from the question. Okay, so that means 60 by 100 into x is equal to 18. So 18 into 10 by 6, which gives us 30. The total number of students in the class is 30. Now 18 of them are girls, so 30 minus 18 is equal to the number of boys is equal to 12. Okay, so we have to find the ratio of the number of girls to the number of boys. So the ratio is going to be, number of girls is 18 to number of boys is 12, which when broken down is going to be 3:2. Okay, so this is going to be the answer of the first question. Now let's solve the second question. For the second part, what will be the cost for each person? Okay, so we have to travel 55 kilometers, and cost of travel is 12 per kilometer. Okay, so now understand that we are going 55 kilometers and we have to return back to 55 kilometers. So in this case, the cost of traveling, we will take the cost of snacks as well. The cost of snacks is 42.80, but this will come at a later stage. Now the cost of traveling, because we are going up and down, we have to return as well. So we will have to take 55 plus 55 into 12. Okay, so this is the transportation cost, so which is something around 110 into 12. So that will be 1100 plus 110 plus 110. 2 1 2 3 1 1320. So this has to be okay, so this is 1320, and then we have 4280, which is the cost of snacks. So 0 8 0 1 6 4 5 6 6600 is the total cost of no, I think it is 0 8 to 10 1 6 5 56 5600 is the total cost of traveling plus the total cost of snacks. So now the number of people, number of persons, so there are 30 students in the class plus 2 teachers, so 32 persons. So cost per head is 5600 divided by 32, this is something around 16 2800, that is 4 This is 8, this is 1400, this is 4, this is 700, this is 2, this is 350. So this is 175 per head. Okay, so the answer is rupees 175 per head. Alright, so this is the second answer. And the third answer is going to be, they have traveled 33 kilometers and they stopped there for the time being. So 33 divided by 55, so that is 3 by 5. So they have covered 60% of the journey completed. What percentage of distance is still left for them to cover? So that is going to be 100 minus 60 is equal to 40% is still left to cover. Okay, so this is fairly simple. You can practice a couple of questions like this and you will be able to solve other questions based on this. Okay, so now we will move on to the next topic. So the next topic is finding the change in percentage. Finding percentage change. Okay, so let's say the question. So price of a bike is 40,000. Okay, it increases 20%. It has been increased by 20%. So what is the new price? Okay, so 40,000 into 20 by 100. So this gives us 8,000 is the increase in price. Okay, so 40 plus 8,000, 40,000 plus 8,000 is equal to 48,000 is going to be the increase in is going to be the new price of the bike. Okay, so in the same example, let's say price of the bike goes down by 7%. What is the new price? So 40,000 into 7 by 100, so that is 2,800 is the decrease in price, is the decrease. Okay, so 40,000 to 37,200. So this is going to be the new price of the motorcycle, a bike. Okay, now let's move on to the next topic, which is discounts. Okay, so discount. Now let's say a keypad is marked for rupees 840. Okay, it is sold at 740. Find the discount and discount percentage. Okay, so the discount is equal to 840 minus 714, which is equal to 6 to 1. 126 is the discount. Now what is the discount percentage? Is equal to 126 by 840 into 100. This gone, 42, 63, 7, 15% is going to be the discount. The list price of a shirt is 220. A discount of 20% is announced on sales. Let's say the list price is equal to 220. Discount is equal to 20%. So what is the sale price? So 220. So this is a simple question. I think you can do it on your own. There's nothing difficult about it. I'll solve it. 44 rupees is the discount and the sale price is going to be 220 minus 44, which is 176. Okay. So these are simple questions that you are going to get based on these quantities. So now we will be moving on to the next topic. Okay. So the next topic deals essentially in buying and selling, profit or loss types of questions. So profit, loss type of questions. So we'll discuss the questions and that will make things much more clear. Let's say question is, A bought a car for rupees 2500. Now he restored it in rupees 500 and sold it for rupees 3300. Find his profit percentage. So the cost price is equal to 2500 plus 500 in repairs or restoring. So this is 3000. Selling price is 3300. Profit is equal to 300. Profit percentage is equal to 300 by 3300 into 100. So it is something around 9 1 by 11. So there are two types of questions that are possible. So they might ask profit percentage on selling price. Okay. So profit percentage on selling price is 1 by 11%. Okay. If profit percentage on cost price is equal to 300 by 3000 into 100. So that comes as 10%. Okay. So this is fairly simple. Now we will move on to the next topic. You can practice few questions based on these topics, and based on above discussions you will be able to solve most of the questions without any problem, and the questions will be simple. We will discuss a few more questions based on this topic to make things much more clear. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Let's say Mohan bought 200 pens for 10 rupees each. Okay, Mohan bought 200 pens for 10 rupees each. 5 pens are discarded. They are bad, so they have been discarded. So remaining pens were sold for rupees 12 each. Find gain or loss. Okay, so the answer is going to be, so cost price is going to be 200 pence into 10 pence each, 10 rupees each. So yes, 2000 rupees is the cost price, next cost price. All of you are supposed to add units to it while solving it in, while solving for better understanding. All right, so now 5 pence have been discarded. So 5 pence have been discarded. So 5 pence have been discarded. Remaining pence were sold for 12 each. So now we have to, selling price, net selling price is 195 pence into 12. So this is 1950 plus 195 and 195. You can multiply if you want. You can use this method if you want. It's up to you. I think this is going to be it. Okay, to 2340 is the selling price. Cost price is going to be 2000. So profit is going to be 340 rupees. So gain and loss percentage is 340 by cost price is 2000. So this is into 100. This is going to be gain or loss. Well, this comes around 17% profit. Okay. So these are the types of questions that you will be asked. You can practice a few more questions. They will be simple. So there is nothing so difficult that you won't understand. And after going through the above discussion, you will be able to solve any question. Okay, they will be simple. We will move on to the next topic. So there are a few questions based like this. Okay, question. So it will be like, Maya bought a AC for 3300. She paid 10% tax, which is included. Okay, so find the tax she paid. Okay, so this is going to be the question. So Maya bought an AC for 3300 and which includes a tax of 10%. So what is the tax that she paid? Okay, so let's say the price 100. So the 10% of tax is added on the cost price. So x plus 10 by 100 is equal to 3300. This is the question. According to the question, this has been asked to us. So 11x by 10 is equal to 3300. So x is equal to 3300 into 10 by 11. So this is 300, 3000. So the price of the AC is 3000 without tax and the tax paid is 300. Okay, rupees. You are all supposed to add units to it. So these are the simple questions that will be asked to you. It won't be anything very difficult. So keep practicing it. We will move on to the next topic here, which is compound interest. Okay, so compound interest. So let us understand simple interest briefly here. So simple interest has a formula PNR by 100. So P is the principal, N is the number of periods, R is the rate. P is principal amount, N is number of years, R is rate, interest rate. Interest rate. Okay. So let's say we have been given a question. So what is the difference between us? So let's calculate a simple interest here. Let's say principal is equal to 10,000. Number of years is equal to 2 and rate is equal to 5%. So calculate the simple interest for 2 years. So simple interest for 2 years is 10,000 into 2 into 5 by 100. So 200, 1,000 rupees is going to be the simple interest. Okay. So now let's say compound interest. So this is the simple interest. Now we will go for compound interest. Okay, what is compound interest? So interest is interest on interest. Here simple interest has been calculated for 2 years. Okay, if we are asked that we have to calculate the compound interest for 2 years. Let's say compound interest for 2 years. So what happens is we calculate the simple interest on it for first year. Let's say simple interest for first year. So 10,000 into 1 into 5 by 100. Okay, so this 100 cancels, we get 500 as simple interest. Now what happens is for the next year, the principal amount changes to 10,500. We add the simple interest that we get at the end of the first year to the principal. And now we get a new principal which is called P2. Okay, so we get P2, the new principal, which has 10,500 as the initial amount. And then we have to calculate, only 1 year is remaining now. So we will calculate it as 1, then 5 by 100. That is this rate. Okay, so 105 into 5. So 525. So the new principal or the final principal, let's say denoted by P3, becomes 11,525. Okay, sorry, 11,025. 11,025. In the above case, okay, in the above case, the new principal will become 11,000. So do you understand the difference here? The new principal in the first case is 11,000. The new principal in the second case is 11,025. So there is a difference of 25 rupees. So compound interest is called interest on interest, as in at the end of the first year or at the end of the compounding period, the simple interest is added to the principal and that new principal is taken as the base principal for the next compounding year or for the next compounding period. Okay, so there is nothing to get confused. You have to break it down. You have to break it. Simple interest, we calculate it at a flow. Like for 10 years, if it has been given, we can use directly the 10 years period. In compound interest, we have to split it in every period, whether it is yearly, half yearly, or any other period. We will see that in a moment. But let's say for the sake of convenience, for the ease of calculation, we have to take it at every year, every beginning period. Okay. So let us discuss a few questions with this. That will make things more clear. So question is, A borrows 20,000 rupees at 8% rate compounded annually. Okay, find the interest paid by him at the end of 3 years. So 20,000 is the principal, 8 by 100 into 1, 1600 is the interest. This 1600 is added to 20,000, 27,600 becomes the new principal. We again calculate it for 1 year. 1728. So 8 by 100 again for the final year. Okay. So this comes out as 1866. So this when added to 233.28. So the initial starting was amount was 20,000. Now it has become 25,194. Okay, so the interest paid is 5,194 rupees and 24 paise. Okay, so this is how you are going to solve it. So there is nothing so difficult about it. You can do it without any problems. Now we will deduce a formula for this compound interest. Okay, so yeah. Formula for compound interest. So if we derive a formula for compound interest, so this is what we arrive at. An is equal to P1 1 plus R by 100 to the power n, or let's say P. So what the different symbols are: An final amount or final principal, final amount, final principal can also be said. Okay, P is the initial principal amount, R is rate of interest, N is number of years. So this is the formula of simple compounding interest. Sorry, this is the formula of compounding interest annually. Okay, so An is the final amount, P denotes initial principal amount, R denotes rate of interest, and N is the number of years. All right. Now, let's solve a question for this. The question based on this formula, let's say principal amount is 12,600. Number of years n is equal to 2 years. Rate of interest is equal to 10%. Okay, so we have to compound it annually. So final amount A is equal to P1 plus R by 100 to the power n. So P is 12,600. 1 plus 10 by 100. We have to use it for 2 years. 1 by 10. So 11 by 10 square into 12,600. So 12,600 into 11 by 10 into 11 by 10. So 126 into 121. So this comes as 15,246. So this is going to be the final principal. And what is the compound interest? 15,246 minus 12,600, which is equal to rupees 2646. Okay, so we have seen the compound interest formula, and the compound interest in the last case is 2646. Okay, so you will be given simple questions based on this. They will be simple enough. So the only variation that comes here is when when compound interest is compounded half yearly, or the time, and we need to understand what happens if it is half yearly or quarterly. Okay, so this is the formula of compound interest. Okay, so whenever it is compounded annually, n is equal to the number of years. Okay, so whenever it is compounded half yearly, okay, so whenever it is compounded half yearly, rate will become half and n will be multiplied by 2. Okay, okay, it will be multiplied by 2. Okay, so if it becomes quarterly, rate will become r by 4 and the number of periods will become 4n. Okay, so this is the only difference, just in case. Okay, we will see how we arrive there. Okay, let's say we have an amount, let's say P is equal to 100. Now rate is equal to 10%. We need to compound it half yearly. Okay, so simple interest or compound interest in this case, which is going to be the same, the interest is going to be the same for the first time when we calculate it. So 100 into rate is 10 by 100. Okay, the change here is half yearly, so the time period is 1 by 2. So the what effectively has happened is the rate has become half, so this is the r by 2. We derive this rate, so this rate becomes r by 2. Okay, so we come from this one, so this is 100 by 100, so the interest rate is 5, interest is 5, interest amount is 5. So this becomes the new principal when we added to 100. So the new principal is 105. Interest rate again is 10 by 100 into 1 by 2, because we are compounding semi-annually or half yearly. So what happens is, again this has become 5. So calculating this, we will get 5.25, and adding it to the original amount, we will get 110.25. Okay, so what has happened here is rate has become half, and we are adding interest 2 times. So n becomes 2n and rate becomes r by 2. So this is where we get this. Okay, so you can practice a few questions based on this. Let us practice one particular question. Okay, that will make things much more clear. Let's say principal is equal to 10,000, time period is equal to 1 year and 3 months, and interest rate is equal to 8.5%. Okay, so now compound interest is to be compounded annually. Now the best way to solve this is by step process and not using the formula. We will first convert the time period 1 year and 3 months. So 3 by 12 is 1 by 4. So 1 by 4, which is equal to 5 by 4 years. Okay. So simple interest, we have to compound it annually. So there is hardly any problem with this. Compounding annually, we get compound interest for first year is 10,000 is the principal. Interest rate is 8.5, and we have to compound it for 1 year. So it is 850. So 10,850 becomes the principal for the next year. Now we don't have a next year, we have only 3 months. So this is 1 by 4. The time period is 1 by 4, and 8.5 is the interest that we will get during this duration. So this is this. So if we solve this, we get, I think, 230 rupees and 50 something paise. Okay, so the final amount is going to be 56, I think. Final amount is going to be 250 plus 230.56, so 5608 10 1 1 11,080 rupees. Okay, so you will get simple questions like this. You can understand the formula, you can practice a few questions with this. This is not going to be extremely difficult or anything. If you simply follow this, there will not be any problems. So with this, I think I should wind up this discussion. If you have any questions regarding this topic, you can ask me. Okay.